what that system of pioneering is doing is actually working towards building a fertile system so those later trees can come along. And what I'm doing is putting that fertility in now and building a fungal dominated soil, which trees love. What's going on, growers? It's James Prigioni coming to you live from Jersey. Day by day in here, things are changing now that it's spring. Some of the trees are starting to blossom, seeds are starting to come up. Wanted to bring you guys along for the food forest. Let's go. For those of you who have been following the channel through the years, this is a familiar view for you. I've shot this angle many times. And you could go back through the years and just see the progression of how much bigger everything's getting. And I love shooting the food forest when it's like this, before it wakes up, to give you that contrast for when it really does wake up. It's like night and day. I've got the chickens next to me hanging out. They want to be on film, you can hear them talking. There's Savannah in front, forest right behind her, then we've got Percy working, eating some grass. So Savannah's got a beautiful coat on her. She molted last year, so that's why I think it looks so nice. Let me take you into the food forest though. Right when I opened the gate, Forrest tried to sneak in on me. No, Forrest. She wants to come in and eat up the worms. She knows we got the worm factory going. That's one of the things with the wood chips and having a mulch down. You got a huge worm factory. Think about all those hired workers, 24/7, 365 days a year. As long as the mulch is thick, then they'll be working for you. You don't have to pay them, no health insurance. They don't ask for any raises or anything. So it's a beautiful kind of thing. You gotta have the system working for you. The more it works for you, the less work you have to do. If you guys saw, we just put this new grape arbor up. I think it came out nice. And one of the things I love about it is how open it is. Get that airflow really going, because I've talked about it many times, but we're in Jersey here. We've got high humidity being right by the ocean because I'm on the coast. Before, this was all closed off. Now we can just walk right through here and just see these grapevines there. We're not going to have anything fruiting up here, any of the leaves really. Everything's going to be growing and fruiting all up top there. This is an arbor, this isn't a trellis. I talked about that in the video though. And of course we got tuck in here. It wouldn't be food forest without the little guy. Yarrow's coming up. Achilles millefolium. And we've got mint coming up. In this one section here, we've got yarrow, mint, strawberries, all growing together. And right above it, we've got the apple tree, and then the grapes, and then the apple tree from seed. So you guys will notice, and someone's mentioned, especially with this tree, they said, James, why do you have an apple tree from seed planted so close to a cherry tree? Honestly, most of the apple trees from seed in here, I just threw them. I just took apples and took fruit seed and just threw them out, and they just, ones that came up, I just let them go. If you want to do that same thing, then one thing you have to be good at is identifying plants when they're younger. And that's something you'll pick up just over time, especially if you have a food forest, as you see things reseeding themselves, and just learn over time how to identify when they're really young. And I'll show you some plants that are coming up that have self-seeded in the food forest as I walk through here. But first I want to take you back to this Goji Berry. This thing is a beast. Yeah, look at the size of this Goji Berry. I got this thing for $1. So I'm not saying all plants from Lowe's and potted plants are bad. You just got to be particular on what ones. I don't get any potted trees though. But let me take you into this Goji Berry. I didn't really prune it back much, but I took these arms and I folded them down. Now we've got Goji berries rooting everywhere, all different plants. So if any of you guys come out to see the food forest, I'll be able to give you some Gojis. And I got the same thing with the gooseberries. Right next to the Goji berry, we've got the first fruit tree to flower in the food forest. Here's an apricot tree. And it's flowering a little early, but I'm hopeful that we'll get some fruit off of it. And the other apricot tree over there too is also flowering. So they should be pollinating each other. And you'll see right here, this is basically the only area in the food forest that I'm getting some weeds, because I allowed the chickens to come through, scratch a little too much, and I didn't have enough wood chips down. I've mentioned it before, but you really shouldn't have many weeds in your food forest. You want to be mimicking a forest floor, so you want to have those thick wood chips down, a lot of organic matter, just constantly building fertility. You can see how I've mentioned before, these trees have really gotten large in here, and once they start opening up, you're not going to be able to see the house. This is really going to feel like just a getaway, a separate environment within the suburban community. And I just cannot wait. Some of you may be thinking, James, don't annuals a lot of times pioneer along a forest? even on like a neglected lawn. Yeah, that's definitely true, they do. But what I'm telling you is with wood chips, you can actually skip a lot of that. Because what that system of pioneering is doing is actually working towards building a fertile system so those later trees can come along. And what I'm doing is putting that fertility in now and building a fungal dominated soil, which trees love. Soil that's high in the mycorrhizal association, and again, that's what trees love. I want to bring you guys over to this front corner, show you some of the stuff that's self-seeded, that's coming up on its own. And I have this stuff self-seeding because this is the 7th year of my food forest. You guys shouldn't really have things reseeding because your wood chips should be thick, at least 4 to 6 inches. Mine have broken down a lot, and I'm gonna come through here in the late spring and put even more wood chips down over top, but after I get my stuff coming up, then I'll go wood chip around the plants. As you can see right here, we've got some cilantro coming up. And I planted cilantro in the food forest many times, and if I don't want it, I'll never have to plant it again because it just comes up everywhere. And all the raspberries are coming up underneath the nectarine tree. We'll have plenty of those. In the front here, we also have some California poppy all coming up. It's my favorite flower. It's so delicate and it's so beautiful. I love that bright orange color. More California poppy. Once that California poppy is opening up, we'll probably have some praying mantis opening up. So that'll be bringing in some nice insects, some life, and the food forest day by day will be progressing. And it just, everything is just getting closer and closer. This Asian pear wants to open. We're supposed to have a nice day Thursday. I think that's gonna be one of the days where we start to see a transition. And I want to bring you guys along for kind of more of a bi-weekly or even more than that, daily updates of the food forest, just so you guys can walk it and live it. Because if you have a young food forest, this is kind of like a step into the future. Or if you want to have a food forest in the future, this is again, kind of a look into that future. So I wanted to bring you guys along and let you enjoy it because I live for this, and it is my passion and what I love to do. Even building this grape arbor and stuff, I had such a fun time doing that, and I think it's going to increase my production. So I'm really excited, guys. That's today's video, guys. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed it, share it with your friends. We'll be doing these food forest videos maybe once, twice, 3 times a week, whatever you want. And don't forget to check us out on Steemit too. See you in the next one.